TIA Small Cell and DAS workshop was all about deploying new networks in the field to maximize return on investment with efficient and demand-ready networks. Mario Simard, Group Manager of Business Development at Expo, was part of the panel discussions about the challenges, best practices, and latest technologies for indoor and outdoor densified network deployment. And Mario, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Abe.
How are you doing? Got your last name correct?
Perfect, yes.
Okay. So let's start off by asking you, from a test and measurement perspective, where does Expo fit into the value chain for DAS and small cell?
Well, that's a good question. 5 years ago, we started at the early stage of the active DAS. For us, was at the early stage. But we wanted to learn more. So what we have done, we went in the field with the neutral host provider, also some of their contractors as well, and mobile network operator. Our goal there was really to understand what's going on in this part. Expo has been very good within fiber optic, but more on the telecom side. And now we have to learn a bit more on the wireless side. We learned a lot, basically. That was a different challenge. At that point, I have to say that the fiber there was very short, a bit like fiber to the home, but even shorter. And from there, we learned what were their challenges and what can we do, to help them. The first aspect that we have discovered is the method of procedure. So we work with them to put together a method of procedure to really help them how to deploy the fiber, how to test the fiber, and how to make sure that everything would be working fine at the end. The second aspect of it was now to maybe develop other products or adapt our own products. One thing that we have discovered at that point was people were very good, with RF, testing RF, but now they had to learn a new technology. It's not that hard fiber, but you have to know how to handle fiber. And therefore, what we have done, we put together a lot of trainings, with those MNOs or neutral host providers. And also, we have put a lot more of automation within our units to make sure that, the technician that has less experience with fiber would be able to test accordingly.
So there's this migration towards upgrading cell sites to bring the fiber network infrastructure now closer to the antenna. What is the challenge for operators in this space?
Okay. Well, the speed. Everybody wants to have the turn up as ASAP. So everything that we have, that we can help them, to speed up this deployment, will be welcome. One thing that we have seen is the what we call the closeout package, where they have to put all the results and also the pictures of the site. So with our software Fast Reporter, it helps tremendously, to put together this package. So that was one aspect that we have discovered within these challenges was speed. The second one was the closeout gap. I talked a bit about a couple of seconds ago. It's the fact that, again, those technicians were very good with fiber, now with RF. Now they have to test fiber. So we help them put together some training package and also being on the site, helping them, to learn more about fiber. The last aspect of it was the truck roll. It's the amount of money that was throwing in the garbage, I have to say almost in the garbage, was to have the repeat truck roll. So they have done the work, first, but it was not working. So they have to go back and again. I've seen some sites sometimes being out for 7 days because they were not able to find out what was the problem. So doing right the first time, that was one of the philosophy that we wanted to implement with those new deployments.
Mario, there's a transformation, if you will, between front haul and centralized RAN. What are some of the trends with this transformation?
I see mainly two, I'll come back again with in my experience in the field. I've been on site where you have like 90 feet of fiber, and then you have 10 dB loss of those 90 feet of fiber. So there's definitively something wrong. What we have discovered in some cases, the people didn't want to test, so they had a no-test approach, which lead to a very really easy problem to solve. Sometimes it's the connectors that would be dirty or damaged, and right there you can solve probably 80% of the network problem. And what we have done into this area for the latency within the same unit, okay, the user can verify all these connectors. He can also find out if a connector has an eye loss or eye reflection. He can see also the end-to-end loss, and he can measure the latency or the CPRI link, which those two together are, let's say, the physical layer and the CPRI test are the main common problem that they're gonna see. And the most thing of it is when you have a cell tower, okay, a crew that is already in the tower, you want to make them, solving all the problems while they're there, because those guys are very expensive. We're talking about maybe $1,500 per day. So while they're there, you want them to maximize and optimize what they have done in the field, and not having them coming back to solve a very easy problem like a bad connector or a connector that is not well seated.
You talked, I think it was you during the panel discussion, talked about the field deployments and network architectures that that vary in contrast in the U.S. or North America rather, and then maybe Japan or South Korea or even Europe. What are those differences?
Well, the differences would be that in Korea and Japan, they are very well advanced. Compared to us in Canada or in the U.S., they already deploying CRAN. The density of the population, of course, justify the business case, but they are already there. China, they are starting as well, okay, but they're going very fast, and I'm very curious to see what will be the strategy in terms of testing. I've seen some site, but it's not one site that makes altogether the same, but it's going to be very challenging. In Europe, they are at the early stage, I would say, probably late compared to the rest of the world. In Canada and the US, as you know, it's going very fast. We have seen some deployment in the lab, and the CRAN deployment in the lab, early stage, and we know that it's coming very quickly to us.
Well, we thank you, Mario, for participating in TIA's DAS and Small Cell Workshop.
Thank you very much.